Welcome to CityPlus Dossier, a result compilation software that accepts raw scores of students and analyzes it to the most acceptable results within the shortest possible time. It was first developed in 2018 and since has been upgraded to version 2.0, where data entry are completely dynamic. It has a locking system that makes it secure from unapproved access. You can also reset your locking details at any time. For these introductions, we will be using Femline School, one of the schools that uses our dossier to process their results. This is our way of promoting the school and saying thank you for trusting and believing in us. Welcome to Femline. We logged in. Now when you open this is what you're gonna see, a form that pop up. You have the home page, the setup, school setup. This is where you put the school name, add class. This is where you add class. Let me say at this point it is dynamic. You can add any class, add any subject, add any student. It will appear in the results. Everything is completely dynamic. You can set up the way you want it to be, the way your result looks like. This is how we are trying to make it easy and easier for anybody to use. You can ask students, you can compress results. This is particularly for junior secondary. We know in Nigeria that we have basic science and technology, where a combination of basic science, basic tech, computer, that is ICT, and one other subject. Okay, we have a psychomotor setting where you set the student behavior and other things. Broadsheet, you can even print broadsheet from the school, okay, for all the classes at once. Now you can review results. This is a wonderful feature that enable you to review any result you've entered. Maybe you've noticed one mistake, a student scored 20 and you mistakenly put 25, or if they scored a student less, you can as well review the result to see, and everything will be reset automatically and you reprint your result. No problem. You can suppose promote your result, your students. This is at the end of every class. You can promote a student from one class to another class without any stress. You don't have to type the names, you don't have to do one other thing. This is one of the good things you are going to see. You can add a new theme, new session, and so on. Let us go into on page where we can see more features. At this point, we are in home page now. That is where you see CityPlus Dossier, powered by Scholar Schools. And we have a lot of some setups to do here for us to kickstart perfectly. I'm going to quickly introduce us to most of these things. One of those things is score setup. Right, when you click on score setting, you are going to put, at this point is also dynamic, like I said before. This is for a particular school which has a combination of this particular template carries both nursery and primary. It's customized specifically for the school according to the school dossier setup. Now in the school we have first year, second year, assignment, project, quiz, note taking, exams. That is for primary, and all of them sum up to say total 50, then exam 50, making it 100 as total. Now when you click on next, that is you set it. This setting is what is going to happen on the heading of your result, and the maximum score also enables us to checkmate the entire result. When we get there, you will see. Now the next, this brought us down to the nursery aspect. That is why you see score set up for nursery section. Now we have the CA, first CA, second CA, assignment and exam. Now when you finish putting it, you click OK. Everything that will close. You can still go back by clicking this and reset as long as many times as possible you want to use it. Now everything is dynamic, and if you notice, this place become wider when you open for primary, when you open for nursery. You have the different setup. Everything has been customized. Now another thing we have to set is the grade setup. Now when you click on it, it's going to open. You have the grade, the score, and the remarks. This is also dynamic. This is where you input it. You have A, B plus B, C plus C, D, E, and F. Each of them having the maximum score. They score at their maximum at each of those grades, and the remarks for each of those grades. You set this up and you are good to go. So it's not a big deal when you are through. Simply close. Okay, now at that point we have other buttons here. I'm going to take it down one by one. We have the new add new student. That is from the student that we have new student. You click, the form is going to come up where you're going to enter the student information. Click OK. and it will add the students. And also general setup, this is that form where you can pop it up and bring it up. You can do other settings where you can add class. After adding class, you can also add subject. After adding subject, you can add student. You can see it here. Then compressed result, this is for compressed result. Okay, these things have been taken care of. You can also go to psychomotor, brush it, review result. When you click on this, you can review the result. Select them, select session, select class, and select subject. Then you review, hit on the review button. If the result is available, you're going to tell you it has been entered. If not, you tell you no, the result has not been entered. All right, these are the things you see. All right, the next thing we have to do is review result. We already said that. You can review it here from this point. You don't need to go through general setup. You can also go to add comment. After adding comment, this is will take you to where to add comment. We are coming to that point. Now we have archive student. You can archive a particular student. Maybe you promote a whole class, because when you're doing promotion, you promote only all the class. But if there are students that are no longer students of the school, you can remove them from the result so that you have a clean up result. You don't have some space in between. So that is what we have here. Now you promote the student, select the term, select the session, and select class. Then you select the student name. Once you select class and student name will be populated, then you select the student's name, specific student, and then click OK. It will be done. You can as well archive the whole class. If you, for example, an exam class, the graduating class like JSS3, SS3, which are no longer part of the student of active student of the school, you can archive it. If it is SS class, or maybe basic 6 where they are no more part of the school, you can archive the whole class by selecting the theme, the session, and the class, and then all of the students will be removed from the general student leave. Okay, you can as well promote class. Let's say you are promoting at the end of third term, beginning of new session. You can promote from one class to another, maybe from primary 2 to primary 3, or basic 2 to basic 3, just 1 to just 2, and so on and so forth. It is very, very useful and easy to use. And at the same time, one other feature you're going to see will be toggle menu. For example, look at the down. You can on it to see those that are available. On it, toggle it up and down. And this button is new action. You can, from here, you can go to result analysis, you can go to brush it, you can go to psychomotor, you can archive list, and so on and so forth. All right, let us also look at other things that we see here. We have process result. Here is a button that when you finish capturing the result, you process it, and if it was a review result, you're gonna review it here. And in case you make some mistake, you want to clear it, you can clear it here. It is easy to use. Plain language, if you can understand English and Excel, you can use it, and a lot of restriction has been made. Okay, now that we have gotten a preview of what we are having here, let us hit one or two things and see what is gonna be. Now the theme, you can change this theme. If you change it, it's gonna generate this into another theme, then session, then basic. The main thing is after you have done this setup, you don't need to wait again. So you select class. Now let's see, we want to select basic 3. All right, if the result, if the name are not, if there is not basic 3 student for the theme, for the session, it will tell you the student does not exist. So you have to see how to add student to the class first. But if it is, it will populate like we see here. Now it's populated. Now which subject do we want to enter? We already have result entered to this class, and most of these classes here has been entered, which will enable us to demonstrate effectively what we have in place to do. Now let us select mathematics, for instance, and let's wait. And why can we say basic 3 mathematics result already been entered for a thing? You can only review this result. Now at this point, you can enter mathematics more than once. You can enter any result more than once. If that result has been entered, it's going to warn you. This is also a check for you to know, so that no mistake of duplication. We know how software works. Now let us select another subject. Let's say civic education. All right, okay, the result is not there. So let's see. Now we're going to enter some values for this. Let's say we make a mistake and enter 11. You see it shows what 11 is what yellow. Is not supposed to be so. So let's enter the maximum score for CA1 is 10 10 5 10 10 5. Okay, so let's say we enter Let's enter the result. We are going to pause at this. Okay, let's continue. Then exam, which is 50%, is going to be 45. We enter the next one. Okay, now if we enter any value, let's say you mistakenly enter a wrong value, it's going to pop up yellow, and that tells us that something is wrong. The value is more, and then we have to come back and enter the correct value. It must be less than or equals to this. It shouldn't be more than each of those values. For example, at this particular one, we mistakenly put 6. You're going to flag up, so the value must be 5. The maximum, if you change this setup, the same assignment, make it to 10, the maximum will be 10 until more than 10. That's when it's going to change. All right. Okay, at this point we are going to pause and then come back when we are through. Likewise, in exam, if you had maximum value in exam, let's say 60, I'm going to tell you something is wrong. So we're going to put value that is less. Come back, we are through with the result. Now if you look at this has given us, as we entered this point, we've seen all this thing is being tidied up. We know the position. The first person is the third person in the row. The first person is the third person in the row. We've seen the first with a score of 99, while the second person is the second in the row, which is what, 96, highest score. From here we have the result. So what we do next is to hit the button, the set button. Now we've seen all this. Now we've clicked on process result. Now it's going to tell you, warning, civic education result for basic 3 is about to be processed. Do you want to continue? Yes. We've continued. We've saved. We're going to wait for it to save. Okay, process complete. All right. Okay, everything is okay. Now we know that is how we enter all the results. You enter all the results for all the classes. Let's say, for example, let us select a nursery section. Let's say nursery 2. Wait for it to load. All right, nursery 2 result has been processed. Now if you see, this place has been reduced because we only have 3 entry points for the nursery class. We are going to check the result for nursery 2. Let's say counting. If counting has been entered, it's going to warn us. Okay, counting has been entered. All the results for this class has been entered already. So at this point, we don't have anything to do about entering result. You can cross check and so on. Let us do a kind of review. Let's review a result. Okay, we are in third term now, so we are reviewing third term 2020-2021. Now we are reviewing, let's say, basic 3. That's in basic 3 we enter. Now the class. Okay, let us select the mathematics. All right, let's review. Okay, 13 results have been found for review. All right, we click on OK. Okay. All right, these are the results, the math result that we have entered. In case you want to change any of these, you can actually edit any of these, change the result, the score of any of the students, the one that mistake we had, we notice any mistake, and you hit on update button, not process result, but update button. If you click on process result, it's going to tell you this is a review result. You cannot use that button, so you use this one. Okay, now isn't it wonderful? You click on this process, it's going to review, so it's going to remove the old results and replace it with this new one. Okay. All right, update complete, so we click on OK. All right. Okay, now that has been done, the next thing we have to do is to go to, not result analysis yet, but let's look at the psychomotor. All right, this is the student psychomotor. What we need to do is to select the term first. We select term. This is third term. we select session. This is 2020-2021. Then we select class. Let's say we are still in basic 3. Let's use basic 3. For instance, it's going to bring up the names. Okay. Okay, psychomotor data for the class has already been captured. Will you like to review the data? Like I said, this is already existing result. So let us say, okay, we want to review. If you want to review the data again, you can click on yes. If you want to no, you can click no if you don't want. So let us review the data. Now these are the psychomotor result review of this student. Now we have all this for the student, and each of the students has been entered. And now this is the key. The maximum is 5, the minimum is 1. Now if for example you mistakenly leave any place blank, let us delete this one. We leave it blank, and maybe we put another one here more than 5, let's say 6. Okay, let us try to save. Now once you put a higher value more than this 5, it's going to flag off this yellow. Once you see the yellow in the other any entry point, you know that something is wrong somewhere. So let us try to process. Sorry, all fields within the name range must have an entry before saving, must have an entry. Now this is the name range is to this point. If you have more results, if you get to this point, how to get, so it has flagged off this one that doesn't have any entry. So let us put 4 as it was. Now let us try to save again. Incorrect entry. Locate highlighted cell within the range. Maximum allowed entry is 5 and minimum is 1. So that is the range. You now have to locate this one, and then let's say we put 2. Now let's see, we are trying to save. All right, this is reviewed basic 3 data for third term. All data will be updated with the new ones. Okay, we hit okay. Data update successful. Okay, we click on this, the name will disappear. Okay, now let us still select basic 3. The other thing I want us to see another features. If you are using from Excel 2013, you're going to enjoy this feature, else you are not going to see it to be like blank. Now you see this is a where you can select. For example, we want to do each student by student, can click on it, refresh. Now we want to select one student at a time, so we enter for Abdul. If we want to enter for the next student, we click on it. We can use this to select it in case so that we don't get mixed up. If we want to select multiple, we click on this small icon up here. If we click on this, we've selected Abdul. We now okay, Azima, we now select the second one, we select the third one, select this. As we go, we continue selecting each student. Then you can as well clean up the old scale and then remove it out. That is called slicer. We use the slicer to scale out. All right, let us save the data so that we proceed. All right, now that we are through with that, the next thing is for us to go to result analysis. Okay, when we come here, we select the term. We're going to select the term session, and then we select class. Let us select basic 3. All right, if there are results, you're going to see the number of results available. So at this point, basic 3, we have 18 results available. Available result for basic 3 is 18 results. So we can see the class summary, which is going to show us the first, the second, the third in ascending order. Now this is the class summary for basic 3. We've known the student that took first, he has a maximum of 84 and is first. The second person 76, 71.6 and is second, and so on and so forth. You can print this class list as a school. You can print it for the teacher or for the head teacher or anybody to see, or for further documentation. Now we can view. Let us come here to view the result. Before the result, let us add comment. We click on this comment, and then we come here, we select the term. Let's also select basic 3. Basic 3. You can select any class you want, all the classes you enter. If they are result, if they are comment already, it's going to tell you all that there is comment. If they are not, it will populate this. Now these are what the comments. So all you need to do is enter values, enter things. Sorry, I had to enter this for us to be able to save so that we can process. This should be number. The number each student appear in school in the term. Okay. Okay, if you put a number that is greater than the number of days school open, is gonna reflect that same our error. I say yellow, so you have to be careful with what you are entering. I'm just putting numbers to make sure to enable us to save, because if we don't fill in this, we may not be able to save. For example, let me try to save this. So process complete. Okay, we save that. Okay, that has been done. We can go back to class summary. Okay, I'm going to select the basic 3 again. What it's doing is sorting out the results. Now it has finished. We have 18 results. We can actually view results one by one. Let's say we want to see math. All right, these are the math results that we have. We want to see English. These are the English results. You can see who came first and so on. In case you didn't have time to check the other one, let's look at social studies. These are the social studies results. Let's go to the civic education. Look at civic education. Okay, now let's look at French. We have all the results intact. But if you are to check the report card, let's look at view reports. It is a wonderful thing for school to use. You can do that for any class. What we are doing here is dynamic, very dynamic, and is useful by all schools. And we contact us, we customize your own for you. It is customizable. We make it work with your system you operate in your school, within your school. So all right, at this junction, what you do is we have vacation date, we have resumption date, we have number of days school open. You have to input this value, because if you don't put, you will not be able to print. Now, because we select basic 3, these are the informations we have. This is the comment we entered. Any comment you enter will be brought up whenever you want. If there's no comment, it will just pop up. Look at these 2 values we did not add, and it shows. If we don't add it at this point, you are not going to, it won't allow us to print. For example, let me try this. Student attendance for the class are not entered. All student attendance must be captured. That is because of what? This one. The same thing with comment. It's going to ask you and tell you to do that before you print. Now at this point, what else you do is let us select school logo. We have to add the school logo. Let me go to pictures. I'm going to select one of our picture here. We've add. Okay, that is added. Before we do that, we have to select the result folder. Where do we want to save the results? You click on this, and then let's say we are saving the result in desktop, and we have 3D in desktop. All right, so that we click OK. We click OK. Now we have to select passport folder. Let us select the passport folder. Desktop, still desktop. We select any folder we want. We click on OK, and inside the picture, that is the folder you have pictures. Inside that folder, we are going to have named the pictures versus the passport based on this. This is passport ID. That means inside that folder, for the first student, the name, instead of putting his name or his our name, you use 15, second one 16. It is at that point that it will be able to pick all these on. If there are any updates here, like I've updated, you want to save update comment and days in school, you can update this into update and replace the other one with previous one. If there are any correction here, you can update it so that you have the corrected version. Okay, so now let us look at the way the result is. Now this is how the result is being processed. Now this is not for this student, this is for this student basic 3. Okay, now each of the students, I'm going to minimize this a little bit. If we select each of these students, the result for the student is going to load. All right, you've seen everything change. Everything about the student, the information of the student is being updated. Now if you click any student, you see if we have from our passport folder, shows that there is no passport, so it would have appeared. Passport would have appeared here, and the psychomotor of each student appearing as well. Just take a look at the down part. All right, Has everything changed? Have you seen the last student was 11111? Okay, now this is this other one now. So it is very dynamic. Once you provided with the information, everything, you come here is just by clicks and you have. Now this is it we have here. This is the average is 66.28. The highest in class is 84. Like we said, okay. The remark is this: the number of times we open vacation, the assumption, the number attended, the name of the student, the gender, everything is customized. Everything. So it is wonderful for us to use. If we are trying to see how to make it easy, it is completely dynamic. Okay. So now that we have entered all the information, we can click on print. Okay, so let us save this result to PDF. We are going to save this result to PDF. We are clicking. For this, we are going to wait and then come back later after it has finished printing the result. Okay, it's publishing the results now. Alright, it has finished printing, so it shows us the location. Number of results generated for basic 3 award 13, folder path, PDF, result folder, address basic 3. What is it? We have PDF result folder, address, that is basic 3. Okay, that is the part of the result. Now, in case you don't know, you can also get that here. This is result folder. We have user desktop 3D. It's under 3D that you have that. Now you can as well print individual result. For example, we want to print a specific result. By the time you click on this name, on the name and it has updated, you click, see this button, it's going to appear at this edge button. It's going to print that particular result. You can also print directly or you save to PDF. Now let us, before we come back, let us quickly look at that result. Here we have, okay, this is 3D. This is 3D. So we click on it. What was the name of our class? Basic 3. So this is a folder. I create a folder. For each class, it will create a specific folder. So we click on it. We open, let us open all these results and see. Alright, so these are your results. Are they not wonderful? For each student, you have it. For each student, you can go through it. You can go through it, each of the results. You can go through it, each of the results. Okay, everything is dynamic. So each student, each result is dynamic. All right, let us go back to, okay, one other thing I still want to introduce us to. Let's look at brush sheet. You click on it and this is another important component of our result. You can print the brush sheet for spreadsheet for this old school. So look at this. All right, basic 3, we select on the class, third term, rating, select the term, the session, and we've selected the term and wait for it to load. Okay, so this is the brush sheet for the student, summarizing all we have from the first student. So this is the brush sheet of the student, starting from the first, second, third, and so on. So now we have everything. You can print it, but we're not going to print this one. So let's go back to home. So this is wonderful because it enables schools to process results within time. The purpose of creating this application is to reduce work-related stress on teachers in computing academic results, and also to eliminate computation errors in result analysis and processes using the lowest possible time. We have deployed the best analytical method to analyze each data captured using the software, and the end product is a well-formatted result that is error-free. Alright, for more information, contact us via our contact number and email displayed on the screen. You can also fill a form from the comment section for a demo version in case you need one. At this point, we like to say thank you to our partners, Famous School, for believing and trusting us with your data. Alright, watch out for our next application, Municipal Management System, where school fees payments are made easy. You can even generate or print receipt directly with all the information intact. With the ability to generate school fee schedule for mid-term and end of the term session. You can also analyze the payment system of the school, how school fees are being paid, by analyzing it either per class, per term, per session, and even per period, it's a given period. With just clicks and print out the well-detailed information, payment history of the school for the term and so on. It's a wonderful thing. When completed, it will one of the things that will be one of the applications that will be welcomed by most of the school, putting in effort to make sure it is being released by the beginning of next session. Thank you very much for your time. Remain blessed.